Welcome everybody to another shocking courtroom episode of Lockdown 23-1. That's right, today we're going to be jumping into an Iowa courtroom to witness a victim impact statement like no other. And all you ex-cons watching, you're going to know exactly what I mean when we get there. But Stanley Donahue, 38, is going to be in the courtroom for attempted murder of a peace officer. Multiple counts of robbery, trafficking, stolen weapons, and numerous other charges. It says Donahue was arrested after robbing a Casey's convenience store 20 miles northeast of Cedar Rapids, threatening two employees and forcing them into the store's walk-in cooler. When leaving the store, he encountered Linn County Deputy Will Halverson and shot him 7 times, taking his weapon and fleeing in a car. He was pursued by police, crashed, and escaped into a rural area. Deputy Halverson, who was wearing a protective vest, was seriously injured but has returned to work. He attended the trial and identified Donahue as a shooter. And we also got his victim impact statement, and like I said, it's unlike anything I've ever heard. So let's get right into it. If you enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, now before we get into that powerful victim impact statement from the deputy, let's hear a little bit of the testimony of one of the store clerks that was working that night. And while you're listening to it, really try to put yourself in his shoes and the deputy's, man. It's a very frightening situation.
What did you do after you did the safe drop?
I stood up at the register and just waited.
What happened?
He came up with a carton of chocolate milk, just a small little carton.
When you say he, who do you mean?
I mean the perpetrator.
Okay. Is that the same person that you saw walk in with the black hood up?
Yes.
Okay. So when he brings the chocolate milk up to the counter, can you see more of what he's wearing?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
He was wearing sweatpants, black sweatpants, and a black hoodie.
Do you recall his shoes?
I could not see the shoes at that point.
Okay. So he brings chocolate milk up to the counter. What do you do?
I asked him, "Is there anything else I can get for you?" And he says, "Give me a minute." Then he walks over to the beer cave, and then he just stands there for a few seconds. While I'm still at the register.
When you're at the register and he goes over to the beer cave, can you still see him?
Not at this point.
Okay, so he's just over by the beer cave and you're just up by the register.
Yep.
Waiting?
Waiting.
When can you see him next?
When he comes back up with nothing else.
What did he do?
He paid for the chocolate milk. He handed me $3. I gave him back $1 because it's only like $1.39 at that point, if I believe so. So I ring it up like regularly and I give him his change. And that's when he pulled out the gun.
Did you see where he pulled the gun from?
No.
And believe it or not, that's like the oldest trick in the book from robbers trying to tap into convenience stores and stuff. Best way to get them to open up the register without any kind of a scene is to purchase something small with cash, which will make them have to open up the register and give you change. But people come in to buy little things with cash all the time, so you really have no way of knowing when that time's coming your way. Usually the only time that you can tell the difference between these is an eerie feeling. Don't ignore it. Chances are it's right.
Did you see where he pulled the gun from?
No.
What did the gun look like?
It was a pistol, black, small, with a barrel, and a trigger.
Did he say anything?
He said, "Give me the money."
What did you do?
I opened up the register. The first thing I did was pull the clip with that alerted corporate, and then called the cops, and then I just handed them each bill one by one. I just set him down on the counter and let him reach across.
You said you handed them or set them down on the counter one by one?
Yes.
Do you mean stacks like 20s and then 5s and then 10s, or do you mean individual bills?
If I remember correctly, it started out with individual bills until he told me to stop counting it and just hand it here.
Were you counting it?
I think so. I don't really remember, but I think I was.
Homeboy was definitely the banker in Monopoly, counting them bills out like that, man.
Remember a dollar amount that you counted?
No.
Okay. After he tells you to stop counting it, what did you do?
I just started handing them out section by section.
So you handed cash. I assume there's also change in the register?
Yes.
Did you give them any change?
I set that up down on the counter as well after the cash.
Did you pull all of the money out of the register, just some of it?
I pulled it all out, but section by section.
What did you do after you emptied your register?
He said the next register. So I went, oh, go ahead.
How many registers are there?
There's 2 registers total.
Okay. So he says the next register, what do you do?
I go over to the next register and open it up, and then I start handing them the change out of there. There's no bills in there in the second register due to the help closed. The help left that already that day, and
Is there usually cash in the register?
not after the help leaves.
Okay.
They closed that register down completely.
Now you mentioned in the first register you pulled the clip. Is there a clip in the second register?
Yes,
Were you able to pull that?
I did as well.
Okay. What did you do after you handed him change from the second register?
He asked about the safe.
And how did you respond?
I said, I'm sorry, I don't have access to the safe. There's nothing I can do.
How did you take it?
He said, give me the money in the safe again. And for that, I responded with, I'm sorry, only manager can get in the safe. There's nothing I can do.
I'm not gonna lie too, I would have been a little worried having to tell him I can't open it up, even if I really couldn't open it up. Because I've seen at least 3 or 4 videos where the guy said I can't open up the safe and dudes blast him immediately. I would have been like, bro, I cannot get in that safe. I swear on everything I love, but I'll help you carry that bitch out right now. I don't care about this place's money, man. I'm just trying to tell you I can't open it.
He said, go back to the kitchen again. And so, which I went back to the kitchen and told Maddie that he's coming, put your phone down. And the cop, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
When you went back to the kitchen and was on her phone?
She was talking to a police officer.
Okay, so like a phone call, not
Yes.
a text message.
A phone call.
And you told her to get off her phone, does she do that?
The cop is telling her stay on the phone, but I just told her put your phone down. He's coming. So she does put her phone down on the table back there. Before it all started, she was doing dishes at the time when I went back and warned her about it. But she did put her phone down, and then he walked up behind us. And from what I perceived, he gave us that look like, what am I gonna do? She was just on her phone, so he did see her on her phone.
Okay. And what did he do?
He said, go to the cooler.
What did you do when he said go to the cooler?
Matt and I put our hands up and we went to the cooler.
Oh man, that's terrifying there. Look, if I was in his shoes, I would have been copping please left and right. Bro, they found me in a cooler when I was a baby. I can't go in there. I got mental issues. Put me in a closet, anywhere. Not the cooler, right? You know, because cooler to me is, old Goodfella movie memories. Remember they were cleaning up shop, they were finding people hanging in the meat freezers.
No, but he did stand at the door and ask us about our phones. He said, no phones. To which Maddie replied, I don't have my phone on me, it's out there. And I told him I did not have my phone on me at the time. I told him I don't have it on me, but I did have it on me at the time. It was in my pocket.
After you told him, or after
Bluff
you
game.
told him no phones, what did he do?
He just left. He went out.
When he left, was the door to the cooler open or closed?
It shut after he left.
How would you describe her emotional state while you were in the cooler?
Freaking out. Just repeated asking the same questions, to which all I could respond with was, it'll be okay, we're gonna be fine, the cop is gonna be the one who enters, you're gonna make it to college, there's nothing to worry about, I'm here for you.
When you were in the cooler, could you hear anything that was going on in the store?
We didn't hear anything, the cooler is pretty soundproof, but when the gunshots went off, we heard those.
How long would you estimate you were in the cooler before you heard gunshots?
Roughly 5 minutes, but it felt like 10.
But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Shortly after the shooting, officers arrived and got them to safety. But like I said, it sounds like it was a terrifying event. Just by him putting them into cooler period, that's abduction, man. You're gonna get like 30, 40 years for that alone. Not to mention used a firearm, and then he shot a cop 7 times? You already know what's coming his way. But let's go ahead and jump into the victim impact statement from the deputy that was shot, and then I'll let you know exactly how much time the defendant was sentenced to prison for.
Your Honor, the following is my victim impact statement. Mr. Donahue, I'm sorry. I know that's weird to hear from the man you shot 7 times, saying he's sorry, but that's what I got. I'm sorry you didn't have the strength to pull that trigger one more time. I'm sorry you didn't have the courage to take my life, because it could have been worse for me. Your words, not mine. Maybe if you just pulled that trigger one more time, you would have gotten away. You may not care about what your actions did or whose lives it affected. And honestly, that's fine. It's not my job to make you feel bad for what you did. Because in the end of the day, I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna enjoy the sun on my skin, the wind in my hair, freedom. I'm gonna enjoy my freedom.
Man, that was powerful. But wind in your hair? Bro, you knew better than to pull that Pantene Pro V ad. But he's saying some very real stuff here. Speaking of some of the most powerful things it's taken from you when you go to prison.
Because in the end of the day, I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna enjoy the sun on my skin, the wind in my hair, freedom. I'm gonna enjoy my freedom. I'm gonna enjoy being able to stay up as late as I want every night. Leave my TV on and not even watch it. I'm not gonna have anyone tell me it's time to go to bed or to lock down. I'm not gonna have anybody tell me that I can only spend my money on my commissary days. I'm not gonna have anyone tell me to turn around and cuff up, to take all my clothes off and do a strip search when I go in and out of visits every day.
This guy's hitting him with some low blows. I'm here trying to tell you. These are all the things that I promise if you go to prison, you're gonna miss the most. Going to the fridge, leaving that TV on blast all night long. Big TV too, 56-inch on the wall, jank, right? You ain't getting that in prison. Carpet, peace and quiet when you're dropping a deuce by yourself. These are the things that you will miss the most, I promise. Not to mention your significant other's touch. And keep in mind, this guy's a deputy, so if you're to ask me, if I was in the defendant's shoes, it'd be stinging just a little bit more.
25 years. You're right. That's plenty of time to rehabilitate. I'm 40. Those 25 years you're gonna do at a minimum, with my injuries, you might beat me. You might be alive longer than I will, and that's fine by me. It's okay to feel scared about spending the rest of your life in prison. Use your time there wisely. Use the time to change your life for your family and for yourself. My life has changed because of your actions. My family and my friends' lives have changed because of your actions. My coworkers, the citizens of Linn County lives have changed because of your actions. Maddie and Jake's lives have changed because of your actions. They've all changed forever. If you don't want to change or make something in your life, with little life you're going to have left, that's fine. It's your choice. When you get down to Oakdale, tell them T.I. said hi.
Thank you, sir.
Man, tell him T.I. sent you in Oakdale. Terrifying.
Any more, Mr. Maybanks?
Man, that birch is looking nice.
We're just checking, Your Honor. No further victim impact statements, Your Honor.
Never seen that thing or nothing. Ain't have shit, no face, no nothing, man. How the f they gonna see me and say that I did something? How the f that happened? How the hell y'all gonna say I did something?
May we take
I ain't never seen my mother's face on
We
nothing.
may.
And then she wanna cry. Come on, man. I ain't did shit. No more.
recess for 5 minutes.
Nothing, man. That's it, man. That's how it is. Racist, look. What you smiling for, you bald head ass? What you smiling for?
Hold on, things are getting out of control a bit here. First off, you got the victim saying he likes his freedom with the hair blown in the wind, but he's got a cleaner drop top than a Mercedes. Now you got the defendant over here calling the victim a bald head bitch when he's got less hair than him. How can a bald guy disrespect another bald guy for being bald? He must be a bald-faced liar. And homeboy in the back there, man, he's getting sentimental behind all this. I don't know if sentimental was the right word, but he's being affected. Can't just be bald, sit there and hear all that, man, and not feel some kind of way.
Be cool. Be cool on what, man?
Be cool, bro. Be cool.
Come on.
Yeah, they got the straitjacket belt on them. I ain't never been locked up in one of those.
Oh, you never seen my face either, man. Lie, crying on a motherfucking stand. Didn't want to say it, get behind the camera, and then you want to say it and smile. Sad, man. Never seen me no motherfucking life, man.
Wild victim impact statement, huh? But like I said, man, those are some of the major things that you're gonna miss if you go to prison. It's the little things in life, believe it or not, that make everything so much more comfortable. But it says here, Stanley Donahue, 38. He was convicted and sentenced on 10 offenses with a mixture of concurrent and consecutive prison terms, adding up to a maximum of 92 years in prison. It says because several of the charges carry mandatory minimum sentences, he would be ineligible for parole until he has served at least 60 years. So, unless I read it wrong, his earliest release date wouldn't be until he's 98 years old. Unless Iowa has some good time to shave off a couple years, but either way, man, if I were to bet it all, he won't be seeing the streets ever again. But what do you expect? You rob a store clerk and then shoot a deputy 7 times. You're trying to kill him. And then saying the courtroom it should have been worse? Come on, man. You know that they're going to smoke you from here to kingdom come. But that is the courtroom episode of the day. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to be witnessing some gang members from Georgia get sentenced to more time than what the guy got today. So be on the lookout for that. And the only way to do that is by hitting that notification bell, setting it to all. But as always, until the next time, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.